We're going to do the measurements. So first we're going to find our CZ. So I'm going to measure from the tragus of one side to the tragus of the next. So that gives us 34. So half of 34 then is 17. So that'll be our CZ. Next I'm going to go to the right. 20% of 34 is 6.8. So 6.8 to the right will give us our C4. And then another 20% will be our T4. Okay. And we're going to go into the other side of the head. So we're going to go 6.8 to the left now. That'll be our C3. And then now we're going to go to the to T3, which is another 6.8 down. Okay. Next, we're going to measure from the Nasion all the way to the Inian, which gives us on this model about 32. So we're going to measure 10% up from the Nasion. So that would be 3.2. And that will give us our FPZ. Now we're going to move up 6.4, which is 20% of 32. And that will give us our FZ location. The next 20% was our CZ, which is already marked. So we're going to do another 20%, so another 6.4. That is our PZ location. And then lastly, another 20% for our OZ. Okay. Now we're going to measure the circumference of the head. We're going to start here. So it looks like it gives us 52. So for these measurements now, we're going to move in 10% increments. So I'm going to measure 10% over to the left of FPZ. So that is 5.2, and that will be our FP1 location. Another 10%. So another 5.2. That'll be our F7 location. Okay, we already have our T3 marked, so we're going to move on from that. We're going to move over another 5.2. That will be our T5 location. And then last, we're going to move another 10%, and that'll be our O1 location. Okay. So now, so you can see all they have been marked. So now we're going to go to the other direction. Again, 10%. Okay. That'll be our FP2, another 5.2. Again, another 10%. That'll be our F8 location, 5.2. Our T4 is already marked. 10% from there will be our T6, and then another 10% from there will be our O2 location. O2. Okay. So next now we're going to measure from FPZ to T7, which is 9.5. So half of 9.5 is, I think, 3 1/4. right? Does that sound right? 3 1/4. Or 4 1/4. 4 3/4. Okay, so 4 3/4 will give us the halfway point, and that represents our F3 location. We're going to do the same thing, but on the other side. So we're going to go from FZ to our T8. Measure all the way out. Again, that is also 9 1/2. So we're going to measure 4 3/4 centimeters in between those two, which will give us our our F2 location, or F4 location, yeah. Okay, next, now we're going to go to the back of the head. Now we're going to measure from PZ to T5. So let's see if I can do this. That looks like that's also 9 1/2. So that'll be 4 3/4. Okay. So that's our P3 location, and then we're going to go on the other side and do the same thing. Just going to go from here. That side looks longer, so that looks like it's about 11 1/2. So half of 11 1/2 is 5 3/4. So 5 3/4. That would be our P4 location. Next, we're going to do the primes. So CZ prime is just 2 centimeters back from the CZ location. So that'll be there. C4 prime is again just 2 centimeters back. And then our C3 prime, it will be 2 centimeters back. And then last but not least, we have our C1 and C2 locations. So our C1 is just halfway in between CZ and C3. Okay, so that's about 7, so half of 7 is 3 1/2. Okay. And same thing on the other side, it's just halfway in between these two, so we're going to get a distance. Okay, we're just going to go about halfway in between there too. Okay, and I think that is it.